she is not a mom. Joe Giuliano family called a lawyer to sue Meg as a banned secret daughter in heavy rain. Could this be Meghan's dark secret? I suppose most of you have heard the rumour that Meghan Markle has married not 2, but 3 times. And before Prince Harry and her divorced husband, Trevor Engelson, she is said to have married a lawyer called Joe Giuliano, or in full, Joseph Goldberg-Giuliano. However, the marriage was annulled because the groom's parents were against it. And even if it's true, it doesn't sound like a really big scandal. After all, it is already well known that Meghan is a divorcee. However, a far more spectacular story is that there was also a daughter born out of this relationship. So far, these have just been rumours, and no proof have been presented. There are no documents of the marriage, no wedding photos, and no trace of alleged daughter. But does this mean that it's all been made up? The problem is that it does not sound like a typical invented story. Why would something invent an annulled marriage? And why would he use the name Joseph Goldberg-Giuliano? Nowadays he lives in Boston, but according to his CV, between 1999 and 2003, Joseph Goldberg-Giuliano was studying at the Northwestern University, exactly those years when Meghan was there. They are said to have had a relationship for 2 years. It is possible that they were married and even had a daughter together, as it sounds as if the marriage was a very private ceremony, and not even the groom's parents were informed. I could think of the following scenario. Because Meghan is pregnant, she and Joe decided to get married by a Catholic priest, with only some witnesses present. When Joseph tells his parents, they are shocked and convince him to have the marriage annulled. They offer Meghan a certain sum of money and promise that they will take care of the child. I admit that this is speculation, and that the most controversial point is of course the existence of a daughter. Recently, the Duchess' half-sister Samantha makes some interesting observations. She never got along particularly well with her. Samantha exposes herself by stating that Meghan has cheated everyone, and especially her husband, who really doesn't know his wife after 4 years. Still, it says that American has estranged Harry from his family, and that sooner or later he will pay the consequences. If the prince decided to take her to court for the secrets he might discover, Meghan would really end up with water in her throat. In short, the mystery continues and thickens more and more. Meanwhile, it is said that Prince Harry, aware of these scoops now, is really furious with his wife. In other news, following the birth of Archie Harrison, and before his royal departure, Prince Harry reportedly spoke about his desire to raise his young son in Africa. Speaking on the latest episode of The Palace Confidential, royal expert and Daily Mail's diary editor Richard Eden discussed Harry's old friend Dame Jane Goodall's comments about Harry's wishes for Archie. Mr. Eden told his Joe Elvin that Harry interviewed Dame Jane Goodall for Meghan's edited edition of Vogue. He added, Harry had told her that he wanted to raise his children in Africa. He talked about how he wanted Archie to run barefoot with the African children and that sort of thing. Mr. Eden stated that of course that never happened, and the couple, along with Archie, now moved to North America instead, adding that however they are now, they are in California. He added, I would just love just to be, here that conversation with Meghan, where he was talking about how he'd like to raise his kids in Africa. I suspect she might have said, that I prefer California. The Mail on Sunday's assistant editor, Katie Mancy, also speaking on the show, said that she was closer to reality to what people think. There were people in the palace trying to things were going wrong with Harry and Meghan. They were trying to put it in, kind of, place okay, and what's an alternative going to look like? That was one of the solutions. They could have had a really nice gig, I think, adding that they could have done 5 years away in Africa, come back and forth. Meghan and Harry announced their decision to step down as senior royals in 2020, as the couple finally settled in California and welcomed their daughter Lilibet, now 16 months old, the following year. Earlier this year, Meghan spoke on a royal tour that she undertook alongside Harry in South Africa in 2019. Meghan, speaking on the earlier episode of a podcast series, Archetypes, recalled a scary incident involving their infant son. Meghan claimed a fire has started in Archie's room in the family's accommodation while in South Africa. Although admitting Archie was safe and well, Meghan claimed that everyone was in tears and shaken.